Everything was working fine. We went to retract the levelers. They just didn't retract, they didn't work.
We were on the side of the road.
That could have been a tow truck ride. If we would have taken this to a RV dealership, I guarantee that would have been $800 to $1,000. It was literally a $45 fix.
There are so many problems on RVs that can create huge issues, but are actually tiny and really easy problems to fix.
In this video, we're gonna share with you several of those problems that we've had. Thankfully, we're able to fix them. Seem to happen when we're out on the road, but we're gonna bring you and show you those problems.
So as we're going through these, guys, put in the comments below, have any of these issues happened to you, or any other issues that were actually pretty big issues but caused a lot of hassle but were a tiny fix? So let's get into number one.
So the first one, this just recently happened. Well, it happened last year. More recently, it happened this year. Last year was a little bit of a different issue. I'll briefly explain that. But it's going to be for your gassers, your F53 chassis. Here's the part number right here, guys. Please, please, please carry 1 or 2 extra of these things. These are known to go bad. If you go on the forums, people talk about it all the time. This is the fuel pump module. This is a brand new one. And this little thing, guys, can cause such a nightmare if it goes bad. What this does, it connects to the fuel pump and it will regulate how much fuel gets dumped into your engine. If this goes bad, no fuel goes to your motor, and essentially it's like being put in the sleeper hole.
This happened to us so many times this year and last year on both road trips.
So this year it was actually, this part went bad. Last year there is a harness that goes to this, one of those wires, specifically the green yellow wire. It is the 12-volt feed. The 12-volt feed from the computer on the motorhome, for whatever reason, was bad. So what we had to do, we had to run a direct 12-volt feed, splice it into that green and yellow, and just run it directly into our fuse box. That resolved it until our recent trip when we had the same symptoms. I called up the mechanic that diagnosed it originally. He said, listen, he goes, it's either going to be the fuse where that direct line is running, which it wasn't, or it's going to be this. I had an extra one of these, I swapped it out, turned right on, no problem since. This is a very easy fix. This on the F53 at our motorhome, on the rail inside, right almost by the exhaust, and I think that's one of the issues, is that this is an electrical component and it's about 6 to 8 inches from a very hot exhaust. You know, those don't mix. All you're going to do, you're going to disconnect the harness, connect a new one, and then it's 2 bolts, and it bolts right onto the frame. And that's it, guys. I taped it up really tight so we wouldn't get any water in there, and we've had no issues since.
And it got us going. I mean, we were on the side of the road. You did that and we got going. So
that could have been a tow truck ride, and you know, whatever. It could have been a lot of money if a mechanic diagnosing it. This part costs about $70. You can buy it online, Ford OEM, no affiliation, $35.
So huge issues, tiny fix.
So we are at an amazing campsite today, and it's pretty awesome. A lot of RVers out there, you show up to a campground and it's not what you expect. There is a tool out there that can help you avoid this, campgroundviews.com. It is a really one-of-a-kind app that allows you to view campgrounds, all the amenities, as well as book it right from the same app.
Right, and it was started by Mark Hepp, who's a full-time RVer. They have over 1,600 campgrounds available now. They have over 35,000 campsites. They have all the state parks in Oregon, Washington, California, Texas, New Mexico, Utah, Idaho, Tennessee, and many more to come. We're in a Pennsylvania state park right now. There are so many more coming.
Yeah, their ultimate goal is to have all campgrounds in the United States in their database. They just started a couple years ago, and now they're adding like hundreds a month. They're really on a roll now.
And this is very different from Google Earth, because Google Earth is just going to give you that shot overhead.
For example,
and tons of tree coverage,
can't
right?
see anything here.
Yeah, right. And you can do a street view, but you are not going to get to see the amenities. Campground Views is going to show you that. They're going to show you what the cabins look like, all the amenities look like.
Plus you can book from it.
You can actually book, yes, right from the website.
And guys, just for our viewers, if you use the discount code ENDLESSFREE, you will get 1 month free to try it out, and you can see how you like it. They have all different types of memberships. If you do like it and you want to continue, use the discount code ENDLESSRVing, and you'll get 25% off of your membership, which is pretty awesome.
It's
a quarter off. We're going to put all their information down below. Number 2, you see we have the hood open. The second problem we had this when we were down in Lynchburg visiting Liberty with Jason. Everything was working fine. We went to retract the levelers. They just didn't retract. They didn't work. No power, nothing, dead. So some diagnosis, we determined that it was the controller on our hydraulic system, which you can see right now is covered up all in plastic. And I'm going to explain the reason why. This is the part right here, guys. This is like $100 part. I would definitely carry some extra of of this, especially if you are a Newmar owner. The other issue, we actually had two things go bad. The motor went bad also. You can carry that. They're both very easy to fix. The good thing about this is that even if your levelers don't work, there is a manual override feature on almost all the levelers. We won't get into that because it's going to be specific on the type of system that you have, but we're able to manually retract those levelers, and then we just use blocks until we're able to get it fixed. So why are these now covered in plastic? Well, here's the thing. I call equalizer system. I gave them the motorhome. They knew exactly what the problem was. And the reason why they knew the problem is because it happens all the time on the Newmar Baystars. Now, I don't know about the newer ones if they change this. That equalizer system is actually designed to be an environmentally protected area. So in a bay. Newmar, for whatever reason, I don't know, they put it right here, right? This is right behind the grill. So if you get stuck in the rain, if you're washing your RV, everything is spraying on there, and over time, those controllers and those electrical components go bad. So I have now covered them up. Hopefully that will help resolve the problem, but we do have extra parts that we carry on board. So the next one happened very recently, and this one there was no symptoms before. We go to turn on the motorhome, it's dead.
We were at a rest stop.
We're at a rest stop, it's completely dead. I put the jump pack on it, it started, and then when we pulled into Cracker Barrel, went to turn it on, dead, like nothing. The levelers, nothing would work. And I had just changed this battery out last year. I put a pretty good battery in here. Took the battery out, I'm like, well, I'm assuming the battery's dead. Went to the local big box auto store, two different places. They both tested, like, dude, your battery's not dead. There was quite a bit of corrosion on there. Cleaned up the corrosion, and then I cleaned up the corrosion on the cables. So both on the terminals and on the cables, rehooked everything up, tightened it down, checked all the ground, and it turned back on. And it hasn't happened since. So this had never happened to me before, that you have corrosion and it actually causes so much corrosion that it interfered with the electrical system. So a very easy fix, guys. Couple things. You want to carry one of these on board. This is just a terminal cleaner. This is about $5. And what I like about this one, it can clean both, right? So this is for the actual post. Put this on the post, turn it a couple times, wipe everything down. You could put a little bit of baking soda with water and just wipe everything down. And then this will clean the actual battery connectors, the wires, same thing. One other thing that I took precaution in doing is that you can buy any big box store, comes in a spray, it's an aerosol spray. It is battery post protector, and you spray it on here. You can see I just did it before we left. Ever since that happened, I'm really on it. You spray it, it gives like a little red. Once that's gonna inhibit any corrosion. Once that turns clear, you just spray it again. Go in there, clear. That's like $6, $7, but make sure those terminals are super clean. If you're not getting power, it could be something very easy. Check all the terminals. So the next one has to do with water, and it's not water from the roof. Those can be very hard to pinpoint, but it's gonna be leaks, right, from plumbing. Usually what happens is that you're gonna have one of the clamp connectors on the PEX is usually bad, and that's gonna be the source of the leak. So always carry extra connectors and PEX tools. Usually the PEX is not gonna go bad if you winterize it correctly and if you don't overpressurize it. But another place where we had a leak, especially if you have slides. We learned this, you know, the last RV we had, the kitchen was not on the slide. This one, the kitchen's on a slide. So you have things moving in and out, which means they have to use flexible hosing. Sometimes that flexible hosing over the years of going in and out, if it crimps, it will cause a crack in it. That happened on our freshwater system. As far as the freshwater coming in, we'll put a link above to that video. This recently happened on the drainage coming out from our kitchen sink. Now quickly, let me just show you how the drainage works. If you come over here, you're gonna see on the bottom of our slide here, this is actually right from the kitchen faucet. It goes here, kind of up and around, and then back down. There's flexible, there's flexible hosing. It comes down here to a pump, and then gets pumped out to the gray tank. Now, I had noticed this bay had water in it. Okay, there's only one of two ways water is getting in here. Either we're driving and water is coming in from the rain, but that wasn't possible because we weren't driving in the rain, or there's something coming in from here. So I had MJ turn the water on in the kitchen sink, and sure enough, there was water dripping down. So very easy fix. As far as getting at that hose, not so easy. So what we had to do, if you come here, I had to make a cut here, pull all this hose out to get that flexible hosing out. Go to Home Depot. I did this with my brother. Go to Home Depot, buy the right amount of flexible hosing. You just measure it out with the old one. It was about $45 to fix everything. And then just connect everything back together. If we would have taken this to a RV dealership, they would have got it done pretty quick. We have some good places, but I guarantee that'll have been $800 to $1,000. It was literally a $45 fix and about an hour and a half, and most of that was kind of figuring out, all right, how we're gonna get this out, how we're gonna make the connection. So now we carry a couple extra connections. I would recommend, if you can, carry some kind of Sawzall or something. If you need to cut plumbing, you can do that, but it is a very, very easy fix. So the last one that can be a real hassle, especially if you have either really cold weather or really hot weather, is that your generator's not working. You have no power on your RV. And this happened to us a couple of years ago.
Two summers ago.
Yeah, at NASCAR. We were completely off grid. It was before our lithium battery, or actually, I think maybe we just got our lithium battery. So maybe it was right before. I don't remember. We needed to run our generator. It was running fine. No problem. All of a sudden it shuts down, won't turn back on. Couple things before we tell you what the problem was with generators. Number one, you want to make sure you run them. Try to run them at least once a month at half load. We usually run ours in the winter once a month. And when we're on the road, if we don't have hookups, or if we do have hookups, we'll just run it going down the road with the AC. That way it's exercising. Guys, these own-end generators can run 20,000 plus hours with proper service. You will never like outrun that generator. The second thing, you want to make sure that you have it serviced, that it's being serviced at the appropriate intervals according to whatever manufacturer, what type of generator you have on there. The third thing, guys, is the oil level. These are extremely sensitive.
This was our problem.
To oil. If the oil level is just a little bit off, guys, it will shut down. That's a safety feature. The other thing is if you have less than a quarter of a tank in your motorhome, because these do run off the fuel system in your motorhome, it will also shut off. Our case, what we did, we just went, we put a little bit of oil in there. We had to go buy oil. Now I carry some extra oil. Put a little bit of oil in there, boom, turns right on. So again, instead of going and just not having power or doing whatever, try to troubleshoot these things. Sometimes they're very, very simple. A good resource is if you just go online and you Google it, you're going to see people with the same exact symptoms, IRV2.
Facebook groups are good, very helpful.
People have the same symptoms. A lot of times they're going to be correct on what their suggestions are.
In the comments below, we want you to put two things. Number one, have any of these happened to you? And number two, what issues have happened to you that caused a really big issue but were a very simple fix? We can learn from it. Other people reading the comments can learn from it. So put that down below.
One other thing that I did not mention, and this is almost like common sense, fuses. Yeah. We carry an array of fuses. If something doesn't work, the first thing, check the breaker, check the fuses, because very often that is the problem. So those are super cheap and those are an easy fix. If you like videos like this, guys, to the left of us, we're gonna put our RV DIY playlist. We'll put our RV tours playlist, and for myself and MJ, it's a journey of a lifetime, and we'll see you on the road.